evening and welcome to the August 7th Board of Selectmen's meeting. You all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And good evening, and for those of you tuning in or in the room tonight, you'll notice that we have a few empty chairs up here, so we will move along fairly smartly and see if we can get through business as quickly as possible. The announcements for the evening, the only thing that I would like to bring to everybody's attention, and I know there's some annual meetings of Lake Association and whatnot this weekend. We have voted, this board has voted to start the drawdown of Ospey Lake immediately after Labor Day, so during that week of Labor Day. And the intent of that is that we have to do an extra drawdown this year so that we can make repairs to the dam at the end of the lake. All the gates are coming out and new gasket material and stuff is being put in. At the same time, we're pursuing efforts to redo the boat launch. We're currently starting a conversation with the DEP on permit by rule and whatnot. So the boat launch will, at some point in time, close for access. And I would think that, as in the past, it's taken 3-4 weeks to pull down the lake. I would presume that where we're pulling it down further this year, it will take a little bit longer than that. And I would guess that as soon as the first part or first week of October, you will not have access to the boat launch. So anybody that is dependent on that to take their boats out should plan accordingly. And as time nears and we have more information, we will make sure that we make that announcement. Any other announcements tonight, guys? Appointments, we have no appointments. Hearing of delegation. Mr. Bateman, you're on the agenda, so we'll pull you up then. Correspondence, just quickly, and again, as we read through these, if something piques your interest and you'd like a copy of it, please feel free to come in and meet with Christina and see if she would kindly get you a copy. There is a cost for certainly any copying out of the municipality here. But we have the weekly treasurer's financial reports, Representative Libby's newsletter. There is a DOT letter on the 2011 bridge inspection report. The Assessors Agent August calendar of what he's in the process of doing. A letter from New York County Community Action requesting an appointment with a Selectmen. We've done this in the past, and we'll be bringing this forward in another week to set up a meeting. York County has sent us a letter actually addressing they are making a fiscal year change over at county government. The rest of the state, or a lot of the state, I shouldn't say the rest, a lot of the state, including this municipality, run on a fiscal year, which starts July 1 and ends June 30th. The county runs on a calendar year. Needless to say, that is causing some concern and constraints with the ability for municipalities to support the county, and more importantly, the cost of the jail is associated with and it being funded by the state, and the state is on a fiscal year, not a calendar year. So York County is making that move, and this kind of lays out how they intend to set up the budgets for a 6-month year and a 1 year after that. There's a letter from FEMA talking about the York County Hazardous Mitigation Plan, and also the Zoning Board of Appeals agenda for August 9th, which is Thursday night. Any other correspondence that I missed? If not, we'll move into reports and staff initiatives. We have a few folks that aren't with us tonight that were originally on the agenda, but I will go to the Saco River Community Television Board of Directors, and I do have a report, written report from Dave Lowe, and I'll try to skim through this, if you'll bear with me. The Saco River Community Television Board of Directors, Saco River Community TV has been quite busy recently and filmed 2 productions in Waterboro. The first is a group of citizens sharing memories of their days attending school at the building which now houses the Waterboro Public Library. The program will be airing on Saco River Cable TV, Public Access Channel 2, sometimes next week. The second event is a filming of the popular gardening show called Gardening Time at the Waterboro residence of Grace and Carmine Desimone. Desimones have a train-set village garden, which is quite amazing. This program began airing today on Saco River Cable TV, Public Access Channel 2. They'd like to remind everybody in Waterboro that the studio offers free media, production training, studio assistance, digital video editing, and camera operation. All levels of experience or inexperience are welcome. Residents are encouraged to create their own locally oriented media that speaks to the interests and the concerns and to those in the community. The station is always looking for volunteers to assist with recording various special events, sports games, etc. Again, regardless of your current level of experience, training is provided. So if you think you'd like to produce your own show, learn a new hobby, or volunteer to go out and film events, call or stop by the TV studio. The contact information for the Saco River Community TV is 727-5702. The facility is located on Plains Road, 564 Plains Road in Hollis. You go past this town hall, headed towards Hollis, go for 7 miles. It's the red building on the left-hand side, not too far past the Hollis Fire Department. And their website is www.src-tv.org. And that's respectfully submitted by David Lowe, our representative. Any questions or comments? Cable TV Committee, Mr. Bateman. Step to the podium, sir.
First, I'd like to make an announcement.
Okay.
On Thursday, the 23rd of August, Good Shepherd Food Bank is coming to Waterboro with 9,000 pounds of food to be distributed to anyone in need. That'll be done in the parking lot at St. Stephen's Church in Libby.
Okay.
And so that's a public announcement. We're always looking for volunteers to help unload and pack and set up. So if you have enough food, you can still volunteer to go.
If you'd like, and you get that information to David Lowe, he will put that on the town's website, if you'd like to.
All right, I'll send it.
Okay.
I know I already sent it to Channel 2.
Okay, yeah.
And I put notices.
But I'm sure David would be more than accommodating to put that on the website.
Notices put around in the post offices.
Yep.
So
What was the date and time on that again?
that was August 23rd. That's a Thursday in the afternoon. You'll probably be here about 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
9,000 pounds is a lot of food to distribute.
Sure is. All right, thank you for that.
And I don't have too much to report on the Cable TV Committee. Back in April, I reported that nothing had happened since we met before, and that Trish McCausland is the lawyer in the Time Warner. She's had a problem. Her son was in an accident. So she now says apparently he's better and she would get him back to work. And so she hopes to have something done by the middle of August. So
Okay.
that's goes back to our meeting in January. It's a very slow process.
So we keep just extending and extending and extending.
That's right. So that's my report for now.
Well, we appreciate you for coming in, and any questions of Richard? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Until we call on you again, I guess, right? Selectmen's report, anything,
It's cut.
Been quiet.
okay, it is. Quiet and hot. Moving right along, new business. Discuss and vote to approve the 3 partial waivers that are in our packet. What is your pleasure?
Move it, we accept them. Approve.
Second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the partial waiver payments. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. The next item is discuss the Charter Review Commission's final draft report. I think that's in the packet. I'm not sure whether you've had a chance to look at it. I think it is now our responsibility to move that on to the attorney for review. Not sure that we need to accept their final draft as much as we need to accept the final report, which will be once the attorney has reviewed it and whatnot. But any discussion on what they've presented here? I think they've got a little synopsis or an executive summary of what the changes would be. And then they've got, in essence, in total, the new revised or proposed draft change in the charter. And again, some of it has to be gone over again by the deputy. By the lawyer to make sure that we've got everything. The language complies with state law.
I move this charter review revision draft to the attorney for his perusal.
Okay, have a motion to move this to the attorney for review.
The motion's made.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? We ask Christine that you send that off tomorrow, and we'll get the process, finalization process done anyway. Discuss vote to consider a referendum in November for fire hydrants in Lake Arrowhead. What's your pleasure there? We had a workshop discussion the other night, so I guess the real question is, it'll be about a $18,000 or we'd probably have to go, I guess we'd have to buffer that like 20 and 22 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where the revenue would come from, but I think this just at least gets the motion, or gets the process going, so that, because we're now on a runway, right? We've only got so many days before we have to have referendum questions and stuff done, so I guess really the vote would be to, do we move forward, or do we pass it on to and handle it next fiscal year?
Well, I guess for discussion, I'll move it, we move forward in November.
Okay,
I'll second that for discussion.
moved and seconded to, I guess, move for a referendum vote in November, correct? That's the question on the floor. Discussion?
I think that we should vote in the affirmative on this because they submitted their original proposal in March so that it would be on last town meeting. However, we had finalized our budgetary preparations at that time, so we couldn't include it within that timeline. And I think in the interest of public safety and considering the number of residents that these fire hydrants would serve, I think that it's in the best interest of the town, considering the relatively small amount of money when you look at, you know, the total fire protection element up there, that this is a wise investment for the town, and I don't see prolonging it any longer than we have to.
I agree. Safety-wise, I think it's a very valid and important vote, and I think with this year's presidential election, we'll have a good turnout and let the townspeople decide. And I hope they vote in affirmative.
Yeah, I just, this will get us moving if we vote in the affirmative. There's a lot of work to be done legally, right? I need some agreements and memorandum of understandings and things like that, but at least tee it up to become a referendum thing. Any other discussions? If not, I'd call for a vote. All those in favor? Opposed? So, Christina, if you and Nancy, I guess, can start that effort forward. Item 4, discuss firework complaints. Kind of have left this open. Didn't when we threw this on the agenda, didn't put vote or anything else, because I think we need to have some level of discussion whether or not we conclude it tonight, or whether we conclude it once the other 2 members are here, or whatever the case may be. But I think there's certainly a growing concern over the pretty maybe I'll word it, expansive use of fireworks since the state law changed. I guess that's a fair statement.
I think it's certainly been a broader use in Waterboro than it has been in the past. Generally, it's been, even though the sporadic use elsewhere, it's been predominantly around the lake that has been where most of the fireworks have been executed. But now we're finding that it has spread out to the more rural areas, and the concerns I know that were raised by at least one party that was in here was the use of fireworks in residential or compact areas of the town housing developments and things like that, where debris, which was, I don't know if that was ever considered by the legislature, and I know that in our discussions we had not discussed, the debris element of it, and that's causing some issues with some people. Their umbrellas that they have out on their patios and their pools and stuff like that, and the only thing that we looked at was the potential for fire during particularly dry periods. And so it may behoove us to set up a workshop on this to discuss those other elements. There's also, we can limit the noise element on that too if it doesn't conform with what the statute currently says. So I just think we ought to have get a workshop going on this so that we can try to close up some of those gaps and protect the citizens of the community, while at the same time allowing those people that wish to celebrate in this manner that they'll have a venue in order to do that without being too restrictive.
David?
Yeah, I don't feel that anyone should suffer as a result of fireworks as far as debris or conflict or anything else. So I would like to hear from more people though, and get a good feel for their concerns. But I think it needs to be revisited.
Maybe, I know we did kind of a poll on the internet before, or on the website, and maybe maybe we host some sort of a public hearing in conjunction with a workshop. In your packet is the law, and it's interesting that this is pretty specific when they can be used in between the hours of 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. on any day except for 4th of July, December 31st, and on the weekends immediately before and after July 4th. and December 31st. It allows them to go to 12:30 a.m., which would be. But there's another clause in here that says, a person may use consumer fireworks only on that person's property or on the property of a person who has consented to the use of consumer fireworks on the property. I would think that debris falling on someone else's property would be in violation of that statute, wouldn't you?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, using that person's property, I mean, it's just setting it off.
Right. But aren't you responsible for where it goes?
I would think so, but does it say that?
So anyway, I think we're hearing enough, and certainly also some concerns, not necessarily with debris, but just the ongoing noise and constant barrage of fireworks. So, if you'd like, I'll get with Christine and we'll start the motion, I guess, things in motion to at least pull together a workshop and/or a public hearing. And I know Dave can go back on the web and put on the town's website, place where people can make comments or input or whatever the case may be. So maybe we just do everything that we can.
Surveys or something.
Yeah. So if that's acceptable, then we'll set that up for, I'm not sure, after we get through the next 4 or 5 weeks, my guess is it will become, minimal use, if any. And then maybe again during, New Year's Eve or something.
Are you asking for a motion on this, or just an agenda item?
I think we'll just put it on as an agenda item to set it up. New business item 5. Discuss vote on committee reappointment. What's your pleasure there?
Which committee are we talking about?
This is, there's a request in there from an already committee member who did not get reappointed, but is up for reappointment on the Assessing Board of Review.
Guess I didn't get that.
It would be Diane Gray.
Okay.
She's on the committee,
Oh, I do.
needs to be reappointed. So, what's your pleasure?
And what was the name again?
Diane Gray.
Diane Gray.
I move we appoint Diane Gray to the assessing board.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Sensing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. And the last item on new business, discuss and schedule public hearing for the change to the zoning ordinance regarding the performance guarantees. Just a quick little background. If you remember, we've tasked the planning board a couple of times with coming up with performance guarantees or revisions thereof. They have now completed their work, and we are the owner of the process from that point on. So,
Is this the bond issue? Or
Yeah.
is it, okay.
Performance bonds.
right. So
I would make a motion then that we set a public hearing to discuss, those performance bond issues as presented by the planning board.
So we'll be presenting their recommended changes.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on targeted date, or we just start the process? We need a minimum of 2 weeks to post. So if we start the process tonight, would have to be at minimum public hearing the 21st or the 28th. So,
I would amend my motion to say the 28th.
okay. So the motion's been amended to 28th. You okay with that, Dave?
Second, yeah.
So we will set the public hearing for the 28th, and then the process goes from there, where we approve or disapprove, etc. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Any old business that we have missed? All right, other warrants and bills and payroll.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded, all those in favor? Opposed? Minutes of the 7:31 regular meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Pending decisions, public service announcements, driveway opening permits, language, the water district office space lease.
On that one there, I would agree with you. I did some research back in our selectmen's notes, and that was first put on our agenda back in November of last year. And this is just, they have been dragging their feet constantly, so I think that we ought to ask them to come in and, get it done, get this, taken care of. It's just, it's going on far too long.
You want it on next week's agenda?
Christina?
I did speak with, is it David?
David Benton?
And he said that the board did vote to approve it. He's not sure what became of it after that. He was gonna check on it and get back to me, but I didn't hear back. But that was last week I talked to him.
Okay.
So,
So let's put it, we'll put it on next week's agenda.
ask them to come in.
Or have we either have resolution or have them come in to tell us why they can't have a resolution. I guess that would be my put. That's okay with you guys.
Fine with me. I mean, you have to do something.
Last couple of things on the pending items, the internet and electronic mail policy revisions, barriers to prohibit vehicles from the public beach and the cistern maintenance. Week's action list.
Can we go back to, what's the situation with the barrier? I mean, the summer's over here pretty much.
Yeah, I think what the Conservation Committee was trying to come up with was something that would be more of a permanent nature.
Okay. And the cisterns, what's the game
The
plan?
question is who, what, and where handles cisterns? When a cistern is put in by the request of the planning board,
I know, who is looking into it? Are we supposed to be doing that?
I believe between the fire department, the town administrator, and the planning board, because the planning board has the authority to require a cistern in a development, that was supposed to come up with. More importantly, from a budgeting perspective, it would really be between the fire department and the town administrator. To me, that's more of the issue than, if you have the budget, you can go take care of it. I'm not sure that. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
we have to
where
look at the language of some of those, because some are part of
well, they're on.
an association, and, there's language in there that they're required to do it. And if the town is gonna be inspecting them or whatever, we need easements on those cisterns to allow us to, the fire department to go in there.
Which some may have. We don't-
Which some may have.
But it has to be.
It should be part of the, the plans of the development, that the easements are there. But I don't know, without, like you say, having somebody from the planning board, tell us about that.
Would that be when the code enforcement office, I assume?
Either that, or I would presume Tina or someone could pull any of those developments that we know that have cisterns. Maybe she could compile a list, and we could then look at, she could look at the prints that are on, the plans that are registered over York County, which is, and approved by the planning board, and how many actually had requirements to have cisterns on there, and were there any caveats on that of whether it was to be held in common, whether it was to have easements for fire protection or whatever. But I think that amount of work can be done right here in the office, right? Okay, week's action list. I don't have anything other than what we just discussed briefly as we went through this agenda. Next week's agenda items, just so you know, Jerry's coming in with a proposed tax rate. That will be in your packet. He's going to give us 3 options there, so we will have a discussion and vote next week if that's possible. The ramp at the boat launch, the Road Commissioner Foglio has had a brief discussion with Owen McCullough of SCT. They have at least made a call to the DEP. The DEP is willing to give us a permit by rule to go fix what's there. Any further work that we would have, we could also have, we'd have to have a permit by rule. They would like us to see us steepen the boat ramp, the DEP. So we need to, at some point, have some funds from somewhere set aside that says, okay, we got, half a day's worth of engineering time to sit with the DEP and those kind of things. To,
Stephen, what are you talking about?
I don't know. That's Doug's work. So we'll bring that onto the agenda next
Okay.
week. We'll try to have more information. The county tax, I think we need to know how are we going to pay county tax in this new arrangement. So put that on the Water District office. I put on here. Also, I'm not sure where we left the status of. There was a request by Sean to tweak the signage during Ridge Road before there's an all-out effort to control speed or enforce speed limits on during Ridge Road. And I'm not sure who had that action item.
Thought Nancy was gonna work with Sean on what he needed for signs.
So let's have a status update on
Okay.
that next week. Because if not, we're already a month after we've had the discussion, and I'm not sure that we're any further along than we were. Anything else for agenda items? Okay, I believe Nancy is back next week, so see how we add anything else to the agenda as we get closer. All right, reminders. Items needing signature, warrants and bills for payroll in the minutes. Road Review Committee meeting is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. over at the Old Town Hall. Senior luncheon is Thursday at 11:30 at the Snowmobile Club for any of you out there that want to attend. Finance Committee's meeting at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. Zoning Board of Appeals has a workshop here Thursday night at 7 p.m. Cribbage Tournament 8:30 Saturday morning over at the Old Town Hall. The 2020 Master Planning Committee meeting is Monday night at 5 p.m. at the Central Station. 7 p.m. Monday night at the Historical Society building is the Cemetery Committee meeting. Next week we've got a pretty full agenda with us here. We're going to start at 5 with an executive session to discuss legal matters. Then our 6 p.m. regular meeting. I believe we then have a 6:45 p.m. executive session and then a 7 p.m. goal workshop. Community Garden Committee will be meeting in the Old Town Hall next Wednesday, the 15th, at 6 p.m. The Planning Board meeting is in this room next Wednesday, the 15th, at 7 p.m. The 12-town group, looking out another week, will be meeting here in this room at 6:30 on Monday night, August 20th. Charter Review Commission will be meeting Monday night, the 20th, at 7 p.m. in the Old Town Hall, and we are back here at 6 p.m. 2 weeks from tonight. Anything that I missed? Sensing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Good night, and thank you for tuning in.